Hey y'all, thank you so much for joining me with Mindful Therapy Practice. My name is Melissa and I'm a licensed therapist, been practicing for the last 15 years. Today is part 2 on OCD. Just in a nutshell, OCD is a doubt disorder. It's a disorder where we receive lots of junk mail in our brain. It could be in the form of intrusive thoughts, pictures, videos, body sensations, impulses, urges, however it is that your brain wants to communicate with you, that is a way that you will receive this intrusive stimuli. So OCD is about receiving intrusive stimuli that is sticky, repetitive, not wanted, and completely, typically not congruent, not in accordance to the person that you know yourself to be, completely in opposition to your morals, to your values, to your spirit, to your soul. This part 2 of the OCD is about treatment and the incorporation of mindfulness practices. So let me just open up something here. Okay, so mindfulness, it's a way of living. It really is a lifestyle. Dr. Jamie Marich has written a book on mindfulness. It's called Creative Mindfulness 20 Plus Strategies for Wellness and Recovery. And in here, she highlights 7 principal attitudes of living a mindful life. One of the most important attitudes is the attitude of acceptance. So the acceptance with OCD is accepting that we have OCD. Acceptance that we have this type of intrusive stimuli that comes into our brain, this intrusive junk mail. We have pedophilic OCD, sexual OCD, harm OCD, whatever the subtype is. Yay for us, just kidding. Accepting that it exists, not because accepting doesn't mean we like it. Accepting doesn't mean we want it. Accepting doesn't mean that we will it. We have 60,000+ thoughts a day, and we really don't have control over what comes into our mind. Okay, if it's junk mail in the back, so it will continue to come in. And so acceptance is acknowledgement of that fact, that it will continue to be in the back of our mind, all the while we are making every effort to just live our life and not engage in any avoidance behavior. Continue to work, continue to be with our families, continue to be with our friends, continue to engage in the things that make our life worthwhile, regardless of whatever is in the back of our mind. Granted, I know how exhausting and uncomfortable this is. The more that you do it, the better you will get at it, okay? We will be experts at navigating and managing being uncomfortable, because unfortunately that is part of being a human in the world that we live in now, right? So acceptance and letting go. Before we talk about letting go, let's talk about mindful observation. So it is possible to observe the mind without latching on to whatever stimuli is back there. And this will help with concentration. For example, I might be working on a report and, there's a flash of whatever my subtype is, whatever the stimuli is. It doesn't mean I have to stop what I'm doing and go with it and attend to it. It could just mean that I am observing it, just the way that I watch clouds in the sky, just the way that I watch birds in the sky. I'm just watching it without engaging in it. I'm watching it at a distance. All the while, I'm intentionally bringing my attention to what my body is doing. My body is typing, my body is reading and writing this report, okay? So that is mindful observation, and that also incorporates the attitude of letting go, watching and letting go and coming back. Okay, and so a mindfulness practice basically just means intentionally being present wherever it is that your body is. Wherever it is that your body is, you are intentionally bringing your mind to. If your body is celebrating your mother's birthday, your family's birthday, then if your body is having a piece of cake, then your mind is enjoying, bringing attention to the texture of the cake, to the flavor of the cake, to holding the cake in your hand, to watching the celebration. So wherever it is that your body is, let's bring our mind to, regardless of whatever's back there. So we covered acceptance, letting go, and just being in the present moment. And non-striving is an important attitude as well. Non-striving means that we're not focusing on the end goal. Why am I not healed? It's been a month. At 3 months, I'm going to be OCD free. So non-striving means that we are not constantly focused on the goal. Okay, non-striving just means that we are just climbing the mountain until we get there. So non-striving means that we're not focused on how beautiful it is going to be at the top of the mountain. It's going to be, we can enjoy ourselves, we can live life and enjoy the moments of life as we are climbing. Okay, so we're letting go of expectations. We're letting go of what should be, and we're living in the moment with what is. Okay, and again, that brings back acceptance. Trust. So OCD is a doubt disorder. We're constantly doubting ourselves because a common thought that comes in with OCD brains is, what if? What if I could do that? What if this could happen? But, and if. So all of those are OCD thoughts. And we cannot have 100% certainty. That is not a possibility. So we have to rely on the trust that we have, that we know ourselves to the best that we do. I am 42 years old and I know myself to the best that I can at this moment. Okay? I have to trust in myself and let go of whatever the OCD is trying to convince me of. I don't have to convince myself that I'm a good person. I don't have to convince myself that I'm not a pedophile, that I'm not a murderer, that I'm not violent. I just have to trust that I know who I am in this body that I've lived in for 42 years, okay? And also trusting in your professional. If you have finally gotten to receive a good therapist that is skilled with OCD, that treats OCD with exposure response prevention, then you can choose to also trust in your therapist, okay? Not psychoanalysis, not, exposure and response prevention. And there's also acceptance and commitment therapy and mindfulness, cognitive behavioral therapy. All of this goes into the acceptance of what OCD is, and living with, tolerating OCD, all the while you are resisting the urge to engage in any mental or behavioral compulsion. Non-judging. So allowing the stimuli to be there in the background, all the while you are letting go of any criticism or judgment that you might have towards yourself because these thoughts exist. These thoughts mean nothing about you. These impulses, sensations, urges, pictures, videos mean nothing about you. So whatever criticism, gosh, I'm so weak, I'm so mentally weak, I'm a bad person. This shouldn't be happening. Why am I not better? But all of this criticism that exists in the background, let it be there. Let it be there. We might have an overly critical brain already. We might have a very overly active internal critic that we might have. Those of us with anxiety, anxious brains tend to have a very active inner critic. Allow it to be there in the background, okay? And we're letting go, we're coming back to the self-compassion that we have with ourselves, and the acceptance that we have about what it is like to live as a human, as a flawed human, in this world that we live in, where suffering exists, okay? And then, let's see, what other attitudes? Confidence. Confidence is another attitude. Confidence that you know what you know. You're practicing your tools. You know your tools. Relying on your tools. You don't have to be perfect at them, but you're trusting in them. You're trusting in yourself, and you're confident that engaging in mindfulness, engaging in exposure and response prevention, that you are actively retraining your brain, and it is going at the pace that it is going. You can't make it go faster. We're accepting the pace that it is in this moment. Okay, we're letting go. We're not living in the past. We're not living in the future. We're not making efforts to control and predict the future. We're living in this moment right now. Okay, so control is another mental compulsion where we try to, let's say with harm OCD, you're afraid of going over bridges because you're afraid you're gonna drive off the bridge. And so oftentimes those of us with this kind of harm OCD will make efforts to map out our route and avoid certain highways, avoid certain bridges, avoid certain streets. And so the goal is to continue to live an efficient life and drive wherever you need to go without mapping it out, type it in without making any special routes to accommodate the OCD. We do not want to accommodate these intrusive stimuli. We want to just go about living our life in the most efficient, practical, mindful way that we can. Okay? Geez, I'm sorry for constantly saying okay, but I'm letting it go. All right, I guess that's all I have. See you next time. Bye.